Could you give me 300 at bats this season?
I'd love to give you, I'd love to give you 700 plate appearances. I'll take one or 700 plate appearances. My attitude is prepare for the season, be available for anything that comes my way, and then just work. You know, I'll be sincere for a moment, realizing, that jobs aren't flowing. You miss the game. You love the love I feel is coming to the forefront for the game, and I still feel a longing to compete. And I think I'm still good. I really do. But yeah, it's just a beautiful game. I miss the spring and the summer weather. I miss the stadiums. I miss the time in the batter's box. You brought up 300 at bats. Every single one of those at bats is memorable and special. And when you don't have them in front of you, you realize how much you miss them.
How scary is retirement?
Yeah, I think I think the reason why it's concerning to me is because look, I can't I refuse to make an excuse about my shoulder injury and its recovery. I refuse to, but I do know it was a factor, and the idea of being this, spirit wandering, the Middle Earth without that sort of finality to my career is intimidating to me. I feel like I'm in a bit of there's a possibility that if I don't play again, I'll be in a bit of a purgatory of not having the opportunity to prove to myself it's over, or no, you can still do it and at full strength. And so that's the thing that stands out the most to me. I get excited about the idea of retirement. Traveling, doing some traveling, hopefully starting a family one day, having a consistent routine, but I'm just not there yet mentally, and I've prepared as much as I possibly could have.
Yeah, it's sometimes retirement chooses you. You don't choose retirement. And
Yeah,
right now you have teams by their inactivity are really giving you the message that maybe you don't want to, consume, but it might be the reality that you won't have an opportunity to play again.
yeah. To be fair, though, the free agent market has ground to a halt. Last year's Cy Young winner still doesn't have a job. There's plenty of likely nine-figure players, certainly eight-figure contract players that don't have jobs yet. I I don't know what to say other than you may be absolutely correct. Um, but that's not a language I speak to myself. When I was coming up through the minor leagues, or excuse me, when I was coming up in high school, I remember uh, being outside of a batting cage, and I'm 16, 17 years old, and a boy says to me, what are you going to do after high school? And I said without hesitation, I'm gonna I'm gonna play professional baseball. And he laughed in my face, and he was like, "What are you talking about, dude? Give me a break." And that hurt. And then I remember being in the minor leagues, and someone asked me, what do how long do you want to play in the major leagues for? And I said, what do you mean? I'm going to win like multiple most valuable players. Um, I just don't operate in a way that I don't think like um, I'm ready. I don't feel like I have that quit language, and I want someone to, just finish me as far as just I'm trying to think of a an appropriate, for this G show, but just stomp on my skull and finish me, and I'm gonna keep fighting all the way to the end, sort of thing. So
What if the Angels
proverbially, rhetorically, of
what if
course.
the Angels reached out and said we'll give you the league minimum?
I'd have to ask my agent if that's a fair market deal. I don't know enough. I don't know what the market looks like.
Well, how important is money as opposed to still being able to put on a uniform?
that sweet spot of how important is money. Money does a couple things for you, and I'm not saying like in your bank account. I'm saying it buys you additional at bats because they've invested in you. It buys you leverage. Um, I suppose just playing well solves that, but at no point in time are you ever in a position of power? So as far as like money being a factor, I'm going to let my agent dictate. To be honest with you, I can only speak so much about that. I've had two contracts from the team that drafted me that basically were in the flow of my prime, where you know I negotiated relatively hard, but I was never in a position of weakness. And so I don't know. I guess I'm speaking out of turn in terms of what the money, what the dollars mean.
Mm-hmm.
So forgive me if I'm sounding like I don't know what I'm talking about.
I can hear it in your voice. You're normally upbeat. We have fun. It's not
You
there.
asked me retirement questions. You asked me,
Yeah, but that's the
you know,
reality of this.
yeah,
Like the
yeah,
elephant is in the room, and I have to address that there's a real
sure.
possibility you don't play again.
Yeah, there is a real
So these
possibility.
aren't fun questions, but it is my job to ask the real questions. So
Yeah,
that's why I ask. Would you be a part of a managerial staff?
I have no interest in that. I spent the last, from November 1, we met after when I was in Iceland, and I went on to England and Spain. I had a lovely month trip. But from November 1 until this very day, I mean, after the second I get done with this, I've got my training prep and then my physical therapy again, with the intent on getting to a perfect place physically. Um, I'm not training to be a manager or training to be a front office member or an announcer. It's such the degree of difficulty just gets significantly higher as you get older, and as the league gets to know your tendencies, and as you get injured, and all these things culminate to a razor thin sort of margin for error. And I'm just in a place where I want to prep, give myself the best opportunity. And then, you know, I was over at my buddy's house, maybe over, with his wife and kids, and he had a sign laying on the ground. He's probably listening right now. He had a sign laying on the ground that said, love love like you're never going to get your heart broke, sort of thing. And that's the way I feel about this scenario. I'm going to go all the way in, and if it gets taken from me, I've had a freaking great run, Dan, a great run. And I've checked every box, achieved every goal, but I feel like my attitude towards this is as healthy as it gets because I've got a new challenge. So I'm not doing it for the money. I'm not doing it for the fame. I'm not doing it for the accolades or the stat padding. I'm doing it for the genuine love of competition. And if it doesn't come my way, I'll accept that and move on. And uh, come on with you as an analyst in some capacity to catch up on tight, see-through pants, what have you. But as it stands right now,
That's what you're missing out on. You want to wear the see-through pants. I know what's going on. I'll get you a pair. You can wear it around the house if you want to.